this is episode 68 of Double Cross Anime, and we are in the middle of September now. For me, it's the start of the spring season. So we actually got the cherry blossom here in where I live as well. So it looked really nice.
It's like you're really in Japan.
Yeah, well, yeah, but the thing is, it can only stay like blossom for like 2 or 3 weeks, so we have to be quick.
All right, we'll get out there
Uh,
and celebrate.
that's right. So in terms of anime, though, this week we're gonna cover episode 23 of Mix, episode 10 of Five Force. We don't have anything from Vinland Saga because it take a week off.
Yeah.
Episode 3 and 4 of Kyosho Giga and a bat from episode 36 to 40 of Heidi Girls Girl of the Apps.
That's right.
Alright, let's start with Mix.
Okay. It was only a matter of time.
Yeah. Actually
Also, that's the title of the episode.
yeah, that's right. Actually, they announced at the preview for next episodes that the next episode gonna be the finale.
Oh, they did?
They say that. They said that.
Okay. So we're going right down to the wire then, because, I mean, we've gone into extra innings in this game versus Toshu.
Yep.
So the
Yep.
final episode will be the conclusion of this match.
That's right. I want more.
Well, I mean, like this show will probably get another adaptation, like a second season.
I
I'm
I
guessing.
yeah, I hope so. I think there's a high chance of that happening.
I mean,
You-
it's very popular in Japan. It airs at like a normal time slot,
Yep. And
not a weird
actually,
anime one.
even to the boy that Toma, like he's screaming like on the extra inning, that Mix got a favorable reception.
He said
Oh,
in my subs, he said rave reviews.
all right. In myself, it just say favorable. Oh my god,
Favorable
favor-
reception.
Yeah, favorable reception. All right, great reviews. Here you go.
I think your subs are probably more accurate. Saying rave reviews doesn't sound very Japanese. They would probably try to play it off and be like, "Oh yes, it's being received very favorably. Thank you very much for asking."
Yep. So, yep, I would love to see more of that coming. The thing that I a bit worried though is when we're gonna get the second season,
Oh, whenever.
because
I mean,
the manga is still running, right?
Yeah, it just depends on how much they adapted.
Right.
And I have no idea. I haven't been keeping up. You know, maybe I can do some homework before next week and figure it out. See, you know, like make a prediction about when it'll come back, if ever.
Yep. What do you think about the match?
I think that once again, Meisei is getting a bunch of lucky breaks.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
that's
when
right.
they're runners at the corners. Okay, first of all, what was the deal with that bizarre sequence where there was like a gigantic cat and bunny type things that were like stomping through the fire and the smoke, and their eyes were lit up all purple right after the eye catch? Do you remember
Alright.
this at all?
No, I don't.
Okay,
Right.
so you know they're playing the match and stuff. They cut to commercial. We come back
Yep.
from the commercial. The first thing we see is like a giant, like think huge mecha type in terms of the
Oh.
size. There's a cat
yeah,
and a
yeah.
bunny, and then you know they're stomping through the city and stuff, and it's all fiery in the background. And then Toma kind of like comes to consciousness, and he says, "Wait, what happened while I was feeling lightheaded from the heat?"
Yeah.
That
yeah.
must have been a touch reference, right, or something. Because I
Yeah,
didn't
well-
understand it at all.
Well, I remember that scene. I remember seeing like, oh, are we? Am I watching Mix right now?
Yeah.
And then it got back to Toma, and then I just completely forget about that.
Yeah, I mean, I watched it like an hour and a half ago, so I still remember, and it was very strange.
I watched an hour an hour and a half ago as well, and I
Oh.
completely forget about that.
All right. Well, I mean, I took notes on it, so
Yep.
it's right here in front of my face.
Oh. Yeah.
So I mean, I bring that up just because he had runners at the corners, on first and third, and they luck into a double play because one of
Yep.
Toshu's guys hits a ball directly into his glove.
Yep.
I think the same thing probably happened in cross game at least once.
No.
And
All right.
really,
You might remember that better than me.
so that they get lucky there, and then there's another bit where Toshu hits a ball into the foot of their own base runner,
Yeah,
which means
that's right.
he's out.
Yep.
Which is a rule that I just learned from watching this show.
I
didn't know.
actually was about to ask you that. Is that like an actual rules or something? That
I
might be
guess.
right.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is a professional baseball mangaka. He would probably have done his research,
Yeah, because that like wouldn't that's never happened before like in the match. I would say
well,
that
it probably has in the
yeah, it
history of
probably
baseball,
has.
which is more than 100 years at this point.
It probably has, but like we have never really see that.
Yeah, well, I haven't.
Yeah.
It's just such a small strike zone, so to speak. Like the
Mhm.
chances of that happening are so low.
Yep. Yep.
So they got extremely lucky.
Hmm.
And then we get to the end where Mita he keeps powering up. Everybody's calling him monster, like he's so strong. And then of course Toma has to, he sees that he gets inspired to also take it to the next level.
Hmm.
Like I was when the coach said he was going to pull Toma because he was at his limit.
Yep.
I was like, oh, awesome.
Yep.
We're gonna like what's gonna happen? Is Meisei somehow gonna pull it out even with a different pitcher up? What are they gonna do offensively to make up for this? But no, of course, Soichiro has to just be like, no, let my brother pitch. We're gonna do it.
Yep.
Trust us. Please believe in us.
I keep an eye on him.
Right.
Oh.
So that's the expected route that it would take. I would have preferred if he really had been pulled.
Yep.
Um,
But he was right. The coach, he said like all of this come from his lack of preparation. So like he didn't expect Messi to get this far. So that's why he used Toma like every single time except for the quarterfinals. And
Yeah.
so he acknowledged that. I think that's a good thing that the coach acknowledged his shortcoming.
But to be fair, they wouldn't have even gotten to the semifinals if not for Toma. Like
That's right.
it's true that the team is not very deep in terms of talent. That's the reason they're unprepared. And so the only reason they could get to this game is that Toma's pitching. Even what's his fit? Like Nishimura's father, the father
Yep.
and son,
Yeah.
from the other team. When they're watching, he just says outright, it's a fluke that they made it this far. They shouldn't have advanced to this stage of the tournament.
All right. I don't think it's a fluke that they get into the semifinals.
Yes, it is. The submarine pitcher guy hurt his ankle and gave up 4 runs in an inning.
Consider that Toma pitching is actually pretty good. Well, they got luck along the way, but it's still the fact that like no one got the point, got the hit out of him, even in this match.
I mean, I would say that a team getting lucky along the way is the definition of a fluke.
Well,
That's what it means. That's what a fluke is. Like, it diverges from what you would expect based on variance, based on chance.
Mm. All right. But then again, both Mita and Toma, they pretty much excellent in this match. They
Yeah,
keep raising the bar.
It's 0-0. Yeah, so
Yep.
I guess they're pretty good.
And we did hear a bit of not the backstory, but more like the relationship between Mita and his sisters. More like how yeah, more like how the sister feel about Mita, like committed to baseball.
Yeah, I like the shot that we got of their parents who were like
Yep.
freaking out in the stands and cheering his name and stuff. And
Yeah.
so of course she feels as though she's being neglected.
Yep. Mm. And then
That might
it
be why
again.
she likes.
I
Sorry.
like that. Yep. Go on. Go on. Go on.
That might be why she likes Ryo,
Right.
Tomohito's little brother, because Tomohito's the big baseball star, and Ryo is kind of living in his shadow, and
Yep.
she, maybe feels the same way about her brother, who I think his name is Hiroki.
Hiroki. I think so. Yep.
I just call him Mita, because that's their last name.
Yep. Um. Yeah, I actually like that scene between Mita sisters, Mita as well, and and the other guys because
Tomohito.
it again Tomohito because it's again like address the like the sibling rivalries or the relationship, the sibling relationship that I think is like one of the main themes in Mix.
Right. Yeah. And I mean,
Uh,
my theory was that Tomohito was going to join Meisei,
yeah,
so that they could really bring out that sibling relationship as Ryo aged up. But if the next episode is the final one, then Meisei is probably going to lose.
yeah. I think for this year they're gonna stop here, but they gonna keep preparing for the next years.
Well, that's been Goro's mentality since the start.
Yeah, which for me they need more of the of more of the hitter, the strong hitter. So I think Tomihiko and maybe his brother will join the team, or maybe just his younger brothers. We will see then.
Yeah, yeah. Too bad this. I mean, it's possible that they'll win, and then it'll just be like a to be continued. But that would be pretty
Yeah, and
disappointing.
yeah, and one thing that I really like is how the other team, how the opponent, or basically everyone underestimate Mese, but only Mita, who is actually take this match very seriously. That's
Well,
why
yeah, he
he,
says to his sister, "This could be my
yep,
last game."
yeah, that's right.
And Tomohito, when he hears that from her, he says, "Oh, is your brother like a big joker?" Because he can't
Yep,
fathom his personal rival going down in this stage of the tournament.
that's right.
But apparently, Mita, he can.
So yeah, that's a pretty good match. But yeah, it's not offer a lot to talk about because it's like a long stretch of baseball.
I think we talked about it plenty.
Yeah, well, do we have like any of Hitomi?
You mean Otomi?
Otomi, sorry. Do we have any of Otomi this week? No.
No, just Toma remembering something that she said about Mita being really fast, which is why they were able
Right.
to throw him out on his steal attempt near the start of the episode.
Yeah, another luck.
Oh, was that luck? That was him, like, specifically remembering something that she had said.
Yeah, that's
I
just
mean,
a
maybe,
hunch.
yeah. But I mean, I thought that was the episode kind of. They did something similar last week where his ball control being so good as a result of all the practicing that he did with her. But so I thought this time when her voice kind of plays in his head, and he remembers that about Mita, I thought that was laying it on a little bit thick. Like, okay, she's not responsible for every single good play that Toma makes. Like, the guy's a good baseball player in his own right. Let's not connect everything to his stepsister.
Eh, I like it though. I
I
like
thought it
the
was.
I like the influence that the girl have on the guy
Yeah,
on the big moments, on
I'm
every
good
big
on that,
moment
dude.
that he make in his life.
No, no. Let people be their own people.
Um, all right. You have any other things, other note or mix this week?
Nah.
Except that it's still a good episode.
Yeah, it was all right. It was fine.
Yeah.
Like rather than this one being, particularly good or bad or whatever. I just hope the next one is pretty good if it's the last one for a while.
Right. All right. Let's get to Five Fox.
Okay.
All right. It getting bigger again. So this time we see like all the captains of on the divisions.
Right.
I still note like even we meet like all of them. They still remake. It's more
Well,
like
yeah.
the introduction basically.
Yeah, they're just introduced in a very shonen type way.
Yep.
I'm thinking specifically of like Naruto when you meet all the different Kages from all the different villages, or
Mhm.
Bleach when you meet all the different captains of the divisions in Soul Society.
Yep. Yep.
It just felt like that, and a lot of them didn't make a very strong impression. You have the guy from Division 3 with the artificial looking head,
Mm-hmm.
who reminded me very strongly of a character from Bleach, actually, who was
right.
really interested in like experimentation on humans and stuff.
Mm.
And then
Yeah.
Division 7, of course, they're the ones who say, we don't feel like we need to pay attention to any of your rules. We're going to do what we want, like we
Yep.
always have.
Yep.
Um,
And apparently he's like the guy, the captain. He's like one of the most famous um uh people in the
of Division 7?
yeah. Like
Oh.
everyone keep mentioning him as like the star.
That's weird.
Or like the most famous or something.
I didn't remember that at all. I didn't write that down. But okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, yeah, every other divisions we don't see we don't know much. I don't know if they even talk.
Well, I mean, at this point, there are 8 divisions, and now we know a lot about 1, 5, and 8.
8. That's right.
And we know that Division 7 is essentially like rogue. They just do whatever they feel like.
Yep.
And we know a little bit about Division 3's captain. He's the experiment guy.
Mhm.
So that's 5 out of 8. That's not too bad.
All right. um. Yeah. Otherwise, we get another story about Joker seeing a main guy again and spill the beans that his brother is involved into
The evangelists.
the evangelist. That's right.
Yeah.
Which is something that we have expected last week.
Yeah, Shinra started to suspect that because he already knew that his brother was alive. Joker had told him that previously. And it
Yep.
feels like a long time since the two of them have met. Like at least, what is it, like 6 episodes probably
Right.
since Joker's shown up. Now he shows up here again because we have a little bit of time between arcs, I suppose, now that What's-His-Face is dead. Rekka has been defeated. So Joker's got to show up and kind of give Shinra a little bit of information, which will lead into the next arc. Like give him kind of his pile of motivation needs a little, another scoop on there, so he can go into the next arc with even more purpose.
Yep.
Feels pretty transparent, like narratively
Right.
speaking.
It seemed weird to me that even though like the personnel in Division 1 who was turned out to be to be the traitor, the evangelist, there's like no mention on like disciplining the company one or anything.
Well, I mean, the structure that they've talked about in the past of each company, each division, kind of reporting to a different faction of society being like under
Yep.
the control or under the influence of, like, let's say the church or the government, or they report directly to the emperor or what have you. Maybe they just handle all that stuff internally, rather than
Right.
the emperor, who we saw in this episode, handing
Yep.
down judgment.
That's right.
I mean, they even make mention of the fact in this episode that, oh no, all the captains never get together. This never happens.
Yep.
So the emperor is probably pretty far removed from the Special Fire Force in
It's-
general.
It's like the queen.
Yeah, like a figurehead. Kind of felt that way.
Yeah.
Although who's
Kinda,
to
yeah.
say whether that was because we were supposed to get that impression or because of the scene itself. You know?
Yep. And in this episode we learn about the Adola burst.
Yeah, we heard about that in the previous episode. Rekka was talking about that a little bit.
Yep.
It's just another religious thing. So,
So
you know, it makes sense because now Shinra is going after the evangelists, and since he has this Adola burst, the evangelists will also be pursuing Shinra.
yep.
So there's, they're on a collision course.
I think that makes sense as well that his brother I pretty much safe to assume that he also got have the Adola burst in his gene.
Oh,
So
really?
well they are blood brother, right?
Yeah, that's, I guess. Hopefully.
So
I mean, I don't think we have a mixed situation here with remarriage and identical birthdays.
All right. So I think that makes sense for me that his younger brother is now like one of the leader of the evangelists, or like within the evangelists.
Yeah, I
But-
suppose so. Like maybe the Adola burst is the reason he was able to attain that position.
Right. Yep. So like the rest of the episode, the second half of this episode, dealing about how Shira like come to term with all that, and just the just his teammate enough to actually tell them about his brothers.
I don't remember. Like, I
Yeah.
watched this episode yesterday, and my memory of it is already pretty faint. So
Alright.
did he tell people from his company
Yep, he did.
about his brother?
Yep, he did. He
Okay.
especially said that like I told them about my brothers, and they take it very well basically, because they
Oh,
are
yeah.
the whole part of the family now, so everyone judge each other on these things, on this kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah, I think I remember that now. Like Obi, Captain Obi, he like makes some sort of announcement to everyone that, they're gonna help Shinra, rescue his brother and stuff, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, of course,"
Yep.
something like that. Yeah. I actually kind of like the second half, like with the
I-
lieutenant preparing the food together with Shinra.
Right.
I thought that was
Right.
nice.
Yeah, well, I still don't like the characters well enough in order to enjoy this moment together. I think they're supposed to be heartwarming. I just halfway there basically.
Oh, they definitely didn't warm my heart.
Yeah.
But I thought they were all right.
Hmm.
Like, for example, the scene between the lieutenant who's doing the cooking and Shinra, who offers to help him, cutting
Yep.
the carrots and the onions. Like the way that they're both facing totally away from the camera.
Yep.
And they're like, even though their stances are kind of closed, like they're not looking at one another and they're only cooperating by handing things to each other without looking.
Mhm.
There's a sense of distance between them, but they're also cooperating. Like their movements are in sync.
Yep.
And
Yep.
the rest of the company is offering to help him with
Mm.
this mission that he's taking on. So you get the sense that even though they haven't like totally come together and bonded as a family,
Mhm. They getting there.
there's still an understanding between them that's forming.
Right. The scene that I actually like the most is when Arthur he just handling Shira his many of his meal like his meat.
He does what?
He
Oh yes, I
he
remember that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that actually really nice.
The thing that I remember most about Arthur in this episode is that he was doing all that paperwork because they were looking
Yep.
for some kind of connection between. I can't remember exactly what they were looking for. There were a bunch of documents from some division they had to go through, just like paperwork.
The human
And
combustion, I think.
he's yeah, and he like passes out. He turns into
Yep.
one of those little white
Yep.
outlines
Yep.
that you see in anime. And then they're like, oh, it's time to eat, and his character model like suddenly goes whoop into a
Back
sitting
to normal.
position, and he has a great happy look on his face, and he's back to full color.
Yep.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh. So I think this is just like the very beginning of the next act.
Yeah, I mean
Which
this
would-
was definitely the like a between
Yep.
kind of a halfway point between the one that just ended and the one that's about to begin.
All right. I don't I don't actually have anything else to say on Fight Force.
Oh well, I mean, I remember my favorite shot from this episode
Yep. Tell me that.
is like during the scene between Shinra and the Joker during the first half, there is a really cool like bird's eye view shot from above of like a silhouette, kind of a shadow of fire that's like extending across the ground towards Joker. So it kind of creates a path, like a fiery path towards the Joker, with him as the end point. And Shinra is off to the side, like he's not on this path, but he's next to it. To me, that shot like symbolized the fact that Shinra might have to go down that darker path, and this is something that I think I've talked about in previous weeks. He might have to get his hands dirty and like ally himself with people who are kind of shady, or even like outright villainous in order to get to the bottom of this. And I mean that shot kind of shows that the path leading to the villain who he's fought before, with him off to the side, positioned to perhaps head over there if he needs to, but for now he's still on the, let's say, the path of goodness.
All right.
That caught me, like, because I've had that specific thought about where his character might go in the future. Seeing it laid out like that, like, immediately stuck out to me.
Yep. Because he always being referred as the devil, so yeah, I think he gonna be doing some devil stuff.
Right, yeah, but he also wants to be a hero, so
Yeah, right.
there's that dichotomy there. Like, what is
Yep.
he really, or what is he going to make out of himself?
That's right. My favorite part in this episode, I think, is the one where when they chopping the vegetables. I just love the animation there.
Yeah, I actually did too. I took special note of it. Like, it didn't look beautiful or anything, but it really did look like they were doing some prep work.
Yep.
And
Yep.
a little bit, some effort has to go into that in order for, because it's a full arm movement. The elbow's moving, the arm is moving. There's like kind of a little hitch when the knife hits down, that kind of reverberates up the arm. I also thought that looked good.
Yep.
Glad you brought that up.
Right. All right. You want to get into Kyoshogiga?
All right.
Kyoshogiga episode 3 and 4, which is about the story of the brothers, the oldest brother and the older sisters.
Yeah. Kurama and Yase.
Yep. All right. What's your thought first about these two episodes? Is that 2 or 3, or 3 and 4? 2 and 3 actually.
It's 3 and 4.
Yeah. Yes, that's right. It's 3 and 4.
They were
Alright.
they were okay. To be
Yeah.
honest, like I had the thought multiple times watching these episodes, like, This is just a worse Fooly Cooley. I
Uh-huh.
probably thought that 5 times while I
Right.
was watching. This is just a worse FLCL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Because while while the thought of Fuli Kuli haven't like occurred to my mind, I can see the resemblance, but I don't think this as like the worst Fuli Kuli. But
Well,
it's
I mean that
interesting.
that just popped into my head. Like
Yeah.
what did I think about these episodes? That's literally what I thought about them as I was watching them. I thought they're
Mm.
okay. I liked 4 more than 3.
Yep. All right. I like both of the story. I think like when they delve into like the backstories of the characters, it helps expanding that universe and tell us a bit about the motivation of the character themselves. So in that way I enjoy episode 3 a bit more than episode 4 because Kurama, the oldest brother, his motivation is still, we know his goal. He want to get out of this world. He don't want to wait anymore. But like we still not really sure about like his whole motivation and stuff. So that make
You
him,
just explained his motivation.
well, yeah, but like there's still something more behind that.
Really? He says like
Yeah,
3 times in this episode, I want to go to the real world.
yeah, yeah.
That
But
is his motivation.
all right, yes, but like his character is more than that. That's what I think. Like he can be pretty selfish. Like he not listening to others. He no, not selfish is not the right word, but he can be total bossy.
We Yeah, I guess so. I mean, somebody brings that up with him, Yase, I think.
Yep.
You know, this is just a formality, the 3 of us being part of the council. You're the one who makes all the decisions.
Yeah, that's
But
right.
she resents him for other reasons, you know, dating back to their childhood, which she alludes to in episode 3 and then episode 4 details.
Mm.
You know, the cup
Yep.
and the no, not the cup. I'm sorry. That's the one that her little beast minion sends away. It's the rabbit doll.
Yep. That's the rabbit doll. That's right.
That's why she has that issue with Kurama dating back to their time as children.
Yeah. Well, that's back in where they are children. So I don't know how long had passed in then. But yes,
Well,
he's still.
I mean, the show keeps making the point that they are still children. Like there are
Mhm.
match cuts between that they're themselves as children and then immediately into the present, a shot of them in like the same space in the frame. That was in episode 3 and 4
Mm.
for both Kurama and Yase.
Mm.
So I think the show's trying to make the point that they're like in a state of arrested development. They haven't grown up because their parents abandoned them.
Right.
So they
Mm.
probably have like the same desires, the same fears that they did when they were kids. They're just they have a lot more responsibility and their bodies have changed. They're bigger, they're stronger, they're adults, I guess, but they're still
Right.
kids on the inside.
Yep. Um. Yeah. So so talking about strictly episode 3 now. I love the way it tell the backstory of Kurama. Like he can go to the capital. So
Yeah.
so when the first time he actually can go can go to the capital, like inside the Miro city, he actually looked really in awe. Basically,
Yeah, he did.
he enjoyed that a lot.
Yes, he did. And he decided he wanted to wow everybody with his wood carving.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, I thought that was a really great scene for him because the villagers are like, "Wow, it's amazing. I have no idea what it is, but it's so sugoi."
Yep. um, the one thing though that is that the whole episode is about Kurama, but we also got like his assistant Shoko and her Smith adventure to find the remote control.
Yeah, that was actually an issue that I had with episode 3. Like it
Right.
wasn't all about Kurama actually.
Yeah.
It was segmented. Like the show's already segmenting itself.
Yep.
Even see the little title cards in front of each of the little
Yep.
mini episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And now episode 3 segments itself even further by dedicating 1/3 of its runtime to Shoko,
Yep.
like running around the city. And I mean that was actually the segment that reminded me the most of Fooly Cooly, was all the guys in their white suits like running around the
Right.
town in ridiculous poses and stuff like that.
Right. I
Uh,
get what you mean.
yeah.
The
And they eventually find the remote control because what's his face? I wrote his name down.
Yashimi.
I wrote Fushimi,
All right.
but whatever. We can call him
Yep.
Shimi.
All right.
Yeah, he has he has the GPS, but
Well, who is exactly Shimi though? Because I don't really get it when in the later scene when he talked to Kurama. So
he
he's from the
used to
real
be a
world.
member of Shrine,
All right.
the organization that Koto is with.
Oh,
He used to be a member of
alright.
Shrine. Did you see the way that he faded out
Yep.
after their conversation?
Yeah,
That's exactly the way the appearance that members of Shrine have.
Huh, huh.
And Kurama makes reference to the fact that he, it's like he's a defector, like he left
Right.
Shrine under bad circumstances, and he came to Mirror Kyoto, and he
Mhm.
says no, like Shimi, in response says no, it's practically like I was kidnapped.
Mm.
So the two of them are cooperating.
Yep.
You know, who knows for what purpose, like what Kurama has offered him in order to get him to serve him basically in this way.
Yep.
Like their relationship is one of the darker elements I think that's hanging around Kurama,
Mhm.
because like their conversation has the giant looming presence in the background of that big robot.
Mhm. Mhm. Yep. All right. The issue I have with this episode 3 about Shoko, is like I still think that Shoko serve the same function as Koto, like just wrecking havoc around the city, doing some crazy stuff.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I hadn't thought about that.
She's still endearing though, both of them actually.
Well, I mean, I guess what makes Shoko different from the other characters is that she's like the most postmodern of the characters. She refers to Koto as like a maho shoujo,
Mhm.
and she's a figure collector. She says to Koto, "No, don't take that out of the box."
Yep. Yep.
So she's supposed to be like the audience otaku stand-in, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
And she's also like, you need the techie character, I guess, because that's kind of how Kurama is running things. Like he wants the city to be modern, and he needs to rely on technology in order to eventually break away. That's probably why he's assembled this, this team that works the way it does.
Mhm.
It's part of his plan to eventually get out of the city.
Right.
So Shoko's just a part of that. I guess when they were conceptualizing the TV series or the series as a whole, they wanted to have a couple of like named characters that you could identify working in this little subdivision that Kurama has set up. And Shoko just ended up being one of them. But yeah, it's true. She is pretty similar to Koto.
Yep. All right. Get to episode 4. You said that you prefer episode 4 more than episode 3.
Yeah, it just seemed to be more tightly focused on Yase
Yep,
than episode 3 was on Kurama.
that's right.
And it was also all about the station opening and everything like floating away
Yep.
into the sky. Like that concept
It's really good actually.
Yeah, it is. And it reinforces something about Mirror Kyoto that we would probably need to understand more thoroughly. So we get that little bit of world building, and it also ties directly into an issue that she had in her childhood and that she still has in the present.
Yep.
So just like conceptually, I think a neater episode than the previous one.
That's right. And I think because we can understand the emotion that she have. Like
Yeah, well, she's perhaps has the biggest emotions of any character in the series.
that's right. That's right.
She flies into a rage and transforms into a beast,
Yep.
a demon, whatever she is.
Yeah, but the thing that make her character stand out is like despite her look, despite like every day she's just drinking tea party, and just roaming around the city. Actually, there is a tension between her and Shoko, which I find rather
Oh yes,
interesting.
yeah, that's true. Well, I mean that might just stem off of the tension between she and her brother,
Right.
Kurama.
Yep.
Like Shoko probably understands that the two of them are not on good terms, and she's
Yep.
on Team Kurama, so to speak. So,
Yep.
I keep saying Kurama. I think that's how you would say it in Japanese, but
Kurama. Yep.
yeah,
Good with that.
like how you would pronounce it. I mean,
Yep. So despite on that, she actually the one who keep on basically on the trash. Like
Right.
that reminded her of the mother specifically, and like the happy moments that she had in the past.
yeah, she's obviously very attached to her mother.
Right.
That was probably my favorite moment of either of these episodes was when she goes down into that little basement tube thing with
Yep.
all the. It's a really cool design, man. Like
Right.
it's totally cylindrical, so each of the little drawers that you can pull out, and there's some memento or some little keepsake or some memory in each of them. So they all have to be curved in order for that design to work out.
Right.
And then some of them are tiny, and some of them are huge. Like one holds a tree.
Mhm.
It's just really imaginative.
Yep. I
I would-
actually
Go ahead.
that remind me a bit of Ghibli. I think one of the films that they got that. I think maybe it's
Oh, really?
Away.
I definitely remember a lot of drawers in Spirited Away in the bathhouse.
Yep. Yeah.
Is it
not
maybe
exactly though.
Howl's Moving Castle?
Maybe yeah.
The
Because
the colorfulness reminds me of like specific parts of Howl's Moving Castle.
right. Yeah, that might be the case. But yeah, I like the idea anyway, and
It all comes back to Ghibli.
Yeah, it does come back to Ghibli.
Like it really does. They defined like they're not just the studio that everybody in the West knows because of the whole Spirited Away winning an Oscar thing. Like even in Japan, they defined like multiple generations.
Well, they deserve it.
Yeah, I mean, I would say so. Everybody's got their own opinions on, it's art. Everybody feels differently about it, but yeah, I mean, I guess I didn't think about Ghibli, but it would be the kind of like sort of fantastical and whimsical thing you would see in one of their films.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And the idea is again, she even I think even with her, even with Kurama, they have like something in the past, like some like the fact that their parent left them leave a big impact to them.
Yeah.
So I think there is some like thematical consistency here, and like you said, this episode about Yase is more focused on that.
Yeah, I think so. Just because you can, like, even visually, you can constantly, in all the exterior shots, you can see trails of unwanted items floating through the sky.
Yep.
So it's
Yep.
always there, like at the front of your memory.
Hmm.
The way that it ties into Yase's past experiences, that will also always be there.
Right. 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 So what do you take on Koto involvement in these two episodes?
It's pretty limited.
Right. Well, see, I actually tried to find the missing cup for Yase.
Right.
So, like, she actually write the whole, action on the episode 4.
Yeah, she does. That's true. I like the character stuff better in episode 4. Just learning about Yase.
Right.
So
That's
Koto's
right.
involvement, I was like, eh,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. I got the same feeling actually.
But it is true that she drives the action closer to the end of the episode.
Mhm.
And that is important because she has to resolve the very evident emotional issue that Yase has. I mean, because she's a gigantic beast under the covers in her bedroom, so that
Yep.
needs to be fixed. Koto is the one to try to do that.
Right.
Dude, I just watched this like an hour ago. I can't even remember how. Oh yes, I remember now. She has the rabbit.
Alright.
Koto has that black and pink rabbit that Yase got from her mother. It's attached to the end of her hammer.
Yeah. She got I. All right. Because I thought she got the um one of the doll that Kurama actually throw it away.
Yeah, I mean, that was her whole issue in her childhood was that Kurama he floated away the doll.
Yep.
Because his idea was, well, let's send it out into the real world, which I
Yep.
suppose is where all this stuff goes somehow.
Yep.
And maybe we can signal our parents that way.
Yep.
But that Koto has that same doll. It's
Yeah,
attached
that's
to the
right.
end of her hammer, so that reinforces the connection between Koto and their parents.
Yeah, that's right. And that is something that Yase now appreciate Kurama for that. Even though that like cause the friction between them.
Wait, where are you getting this idea that she appreciates what he did?
Well, she actually said thank you. Like
To Kurama?
to Kurama, like in at the meeting, like at the end of the episode 4.
Huh.
She did say that. She did say like I can't believe. I think she said like I can't believe I say that, but thank you, Kurama, and then she left.
Not before she threw the umbrella at Mioe
Ye-
for the second time.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
And
That
it
one.
popped open. That also, like, when she throws the umbrella and then, it hits him, he falls over, and then as the very last bit, like the cap to the scene, the umbrella pops open. When I saw that, I was just like, that's fully coolly.
Right.
That's just so fully coolly for the action to be punctuated with that little last, like, that final gag.
Yep. All
I
right.
guess I should just say that's very Gainax.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
I'm sure
right.
they carried that attitude over into like other works beyond just that one.
Yep. But I think it's not a stretch to say that the creator have a big influence from Flickly for this series.
Yeah, I mean, even the character designs remind me. I looked up the character designer, and his
Yep.
name is I already forget. It's like Yuki. I forget.
Yep.
But he has. I looked up any connection that he might have to Yoshiyuki Sadamoto, who's
Yep.
the character designer for like all my favorite Gainax stuff, and there isn't any connection at all. But the character designs still really remind me of Gainax. Particularly Mioe's character design. He looks like a Gainax protagonist
Right.
to me.
Hmm. That interesting. Yeah.
I mean, that could just be me. I don't know.
No, I do. like I do see some of the characters have like the Gynex design too. So yeah.
Ah and
Uh,
Un kind of remind me of Gynex characters as well, like minor Gynex characters, background characters. Koto's two familiars.
yeah, I
You know
just
who I'm
have a,
talking about?
all right. I just have a quick look on this guy, the guy you say, Yuki Hayashi.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
apparently is like apart from Kyosho Giga, he actually a key animation in other series. The key
Yes, I saw
animators.
that. That he didn't do. He's only done character design for like this for Kyoso Giga and for like one other thing.
That's right.
And he's one of Toei Animation's powerhouses. Actually,
Right.
there's a lot of stuff that he's done. I looked into him a bit, and there's a lot of stuff that he's done that is not listed on his Mal page.
Oh.
Like he did the. Do you remember Kekai Sensen's ED, where all the characters are dressed up in like suits and like bowler hats?
All right. ED, the first one, the first season.
Yeah,
That's one
yeah,
of
the
my
the
first.
kind of famous
ED.
one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
he animated that,
Wow. Right.
and that was a yeah.
Yep.
So I mean that would be work for Bones, but he mostly works for Toei.
Right. Right. Right.
He does like One Piece and Precure and a lot of their big franchises.
Well,
So
That's-
it's interesting that he would be the character designer here without much work in that field.
yep. 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 But
I think he probably watched a bunch of like Hideaki Anno stuff and then sat down and drew these characters.
But the character designs here in Kyoshogiga is definitely different. Like we got like a whole bunch of like character with different style. Like I think Yase is supposedly designed differently from from the rest of the
Oh, yeah.
characters.
She's got the sparkly eyes like we sometimes saw in Rose of Versailles.
Oscar.
Yeah. Dude, I'm seeing references to all these classic shows that we're watching popping up in a bunch of stuff I'm watching right now.
Yeah, yeah.
I think
yeah.
I sent you some links on Discord.
Yeah,
It's
well,
wild.
yeah, I didn't even catch that before, but then again, I didn't watch Healthy at that time.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure that like as I keep watching stuff from now on, like the more classic stuff we watch, the more I'll be able to pick up on.
Right.
You know, just got to make sure I watch every anime ever.
Yep. Uh, yeah. So I think he done a pretty good job on character design this show.
Yeah, I mean, like the similarities between certain characters, they're strong enough to indicate some kind of relationship, but they're not so strong that it's like obvious.
Yep.
You know, like Kurama says, "Oh, there's an 80% chance that Koto is related to our parents somehow."
Yep.
And you kind of feel that way as a viewer as well. Like it's pretty clear that she's related somehow to the Council of Three.
Yep.
Um,
Wow, she got red eyes.
But there's a little bit of wait, what?
She got red eyes. Her eyes are red.
Yeah. There's that. But like in terms of I don't know, facial structure and her eyes are different from. Dude, what is the woman's name? The mother. Can't remember her name.
Koto as well, the mother.
Oh yeah, I guess it was, wasn't it?
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, Koto the first, she has a different design from everybody else too.
That's right.
Like
that's
the
right.
shape of her eyes. She's more of like a classical beauty.
Yep.
So, yeah, everybody does have their own distinct thing going on. I especially like Kurama's designing. His like the fact that he sits in that little teacup thing and rides around, and
Yep.
I think that's pretty cool.
And actually not even like the characters, like the character design, but they have to design the characters as they are as they are young, as they are as a kid, to their like adult counterpart.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So I think they did a pretty good job, and like you said in previous weeks about how the trees in no, how the background design in the middle cities have like the white outline that
Yeah.
look like the cutout. That I for me is really exceptional.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite parts of the show.
That's right, me too. Because when you see like the river, we see like some part of the river, the outline is definitely much different. They don't have that white outline.
Yeah. It not only is it appropriate for the white outlines to be there because it's like a world created from illustrations. It also helps to like the practical use, I guess, of those white outlines is to differentiate it from any scene set in the real world or in like the kind of technological realm where Shrine exists
That's true.
or anything else, you know. So because you do
Yeah.
like when you're watching animation in general, you're not watching reality, so your brain needs to be able to process all this stuff. There needs to be some sort of there needs to be something you can grab onto visually
Yep.
in order
Yep.
to help you parse all this information because they're just drawings one after another.
Yep. Usually, usually they get away with it. With the backstory or the thing that happened in the past, they're gonna make it with like dual colors, like dark,
Right. Or
gray
sepia
colors.
toned
Yep.
or yeah, they just like kind of blur the edges like it's a dream or a recollection.
Yep.
There's all sorts of yeah, but all those like the modern way of doing it, you just slap a filter on it, you know,
Right.
of some kind, and then oh wow, it's in the past, you know.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah,
really
that's
that's
right.
really convenient, which is cool for like reducing workload for compositors, background artists, and animators and stuff. But there's really something to be said for going that extra mile in terms of like design work and making the different worlds that your characters inhabit, you know, or the difference between the past, present, and future, like making it actually designed differently will go a really long way.
That's right.
We
So,
just don't get too much of that nowadays, I don't think.
yep. Well, this show is just like how many years? 5, 6 years in the past. It's not that long ago.
6, yeah. Yeah. But this is like Toei's kind of passion project sort of thing.
Yep.
Anything they work on that isn't One Piece or Precure or like Dragon Ball,
Yep.
whatever else they've got, is probably pretty special to them.
Yep. Well, the other thing that blew my mind is the directors. Apparently, when she did this work, or even the OVA, she was like 25, 26 years old.
Yeah, that's true. She's very young. She's
Yeah.
still young now.
That's
You know,
right.
she's in like her early to mid 30s now, something like
Yep.
that.
Yeah, that's right. So she have a lot of potential. She actually like this work, even if messy, even if like incomprehensible at time, it still have a lot of personality. So I like it.
It does, yes. It's always moving.
Yep. All right. Do you have any other notes you want to say on Kyoshogiga before we get into Heidi?
I don't know, probably. I didn't do a very good job of like marking down the things I really wanted to talk about in my notes. I got a bunch here, but
Yep.
we're probably good.
All right. Let's go to Heidi and school.
Yes. School, sled races,
Yeah.
Clara, you know,
New
maybe coming to
house.
visit soon. The prayer book, finally. Yes. I knew it.
Sorry. Finally what? Sorry?
The book of prayers or the book
Oh,
of
yeah.
Psalms, whatever. I knew it.
We caught it. Oh my god. Yes. So it's a really good thing that Grandpa. I actually think that Grandpa is too fond of Hedy right now. Like he could do whatever Hedy wanted to do.
Well, I don't think I really agree because she says, no, don't sell. Well, I mean, I guess you're right.
Yeah,
because she's like, don't sell the baby goat, and he's like, okay, well, I guess I'll go tell this guy that he needs to hold off on collecting the money from me. Can't sell the
Yeah.
cow or the goat.
And then
But
happen to find like the abandoned buildings, so that
right,
just he just repair and live there,
yeah.
right?
This is like mixed levels of convenience right now. He's walking home. He spots on his way. Oh, look, a gigantic. Did it used to be a church or something? What's the deal with that building?
It looked like a church. It looked like an abandoned church.
Yeah. Maybe they
With
moved. Maybe they built a new church building,
yeah,
and then the old one
well,
just like they don't know what
haunted.
to do with it. Cause right, yeah. There's probably gonna be an episode about ghosts. I'm
All
guessing.
right. Well, we did
Yeah,
have ghosts before
that's
in
true.
Haiti.
Yeah, but that's true. Heidi was the ghost.
Yep.
But the fact that they specifically mentioned, oh, people say that there are spirits or there are ghosts in this building, like that they bothered to point that out or write it into the script makes me think they'll revisit that.
Yep.
Only got 12
So
episodes to go though.
yeah, but yeah, it's a good thing for Grandpa. That's how he actually realized how Handy wanted to read, so that like despite his like previous ignorance, he actually now wanted Handy to go to school
Yeah,
and do his best basically to for her to go to school every day in winter.
yeah. I mean, the clincher is that he sees her reading,
Yep.
and he's like, oh no. Well, he probably wasn't thinking, oh no, but like he realizes that Heidi is pretty smart.
Yep.
Um, he just wanted her to be simple and to live, you know, live in nature and not be too concerned with what's going on down in the village or anywhere else, really.
Yep.
But when she comes back and she's learned to read, he's like, oh, this is clearly, what she needs. If she has this ability, then we should develop it.
Hmm.
That's why originally when you said he'll do whatever she wants, I thought, well, I don't know, maybe that's not really true because he's like at this point he's exerting his will, like it's time to go to school now.
Yep.
But in the end, it really probably is just about what she wants, because she wants to go to school.
Yeah, she want to go to school. She
There'll be
uh
friends to make and
yep.
books to read, and
She want to keep
Peter will be there if she twists his arm.
right. Well, she want to keep the baby goat, which he does.
Yeah, yeah,
That's nice.
yeah. I guess.
So yeah, you have like the house for free, and you just basically need to maintain this,
Oh, I don't know about free. Like
repair.
grandpa, yeah, grandpa probably had to bust his ass in order to make that happen. Like
Yep.
he's an
That's
old man.
that's right.
He's gonna work himself into like an early grave. He's shaving the weeks off his life doing this stuff probably.
Well, it is for his favorite healthy. I think that is all right.
Well, yeah, I guess so. I'm sure that he probably thinks that it's worth it, but I'm concerned for him.
Yeah.
I hope that the series does not end with his death or something like that. I doubt it will.
Mm,
But I mean, I kind of World Masterpiece Theater series do not pull their punches.
yeah.
It's not just like, and everyone lived happily ever after the end. Like sometimes major characters die, and
Wow.
little children have to like work through that.
Hmm.
So hopefully that doesn't happen.
Right. Well, at the moment we don't see any sign of him, having like a serious health problems.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So at the same time, we see Handy's going to school, and at the same time, we see how Peter, like struggling to go to school at first.
Yeah. He must be kind of embarrassed that Heidi's able to read so much
Yep,
better than he is.
that's right.
You
That's
know,
right.
I was glad that he got an episode for himself.
Yep,
Episode 39 was like the Peter episode.
yep,
Um, because I think he's done a good job of, like welcoming Heidi back. Obviously, the times when she's like, "Oh no, I can't go up to the mountain with you because I have to read this letter that Clara sent me."
yep.
He's clearly jealous, but overall, especially with her being more advanced academically than he is, I think he's done a good job of,
Yeah.
like maintaining his temper and not getting too frustrated or upset.
I just remember like before he was real he was jealous of Peachy, like Peachy this and
Yeah.
Peachy that. Now, now it's the same with Clara.
Yeah,
Clara.
he's pulled this card multiple times. But he did get a nice little episode,
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
where he found something that he really loved to do,
That's
and
right.
Grandpa was willing to work on it with him. We didn't get to see too much of that.
Mhm.
He says, "You can come study carpentry with me." At the end of episode 39, after the sled race and stuff, he's like, "Oh yeah, do you want to study carpentry with me after school during the winter?" Peter's like, "Oh boy, would I." Then the next episode, it's spring. We didn't get to see anything. Poor Peter, all his cool stuff got cut out.
Yeah, yeah.
For
That
Clara.
that a bit of a shame, but yeah, I think it's good that Peter finds something that he really like to do.
Yeah. And he figured out, the sled was always turning to the right, so that means
Right.
that the left-hand side is too high. And you even see specifically, like, he shaves off the left leg.
Yep.
The
Yep.
show, it made sure to take off from the correct side.
Yep.
And you see him working. I really like that Heidi was worried.
Yep.
Because it kind of demonstrated that she didn't understand what the issue was, and
Yep.
she
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah, yeah.
confident that Peter could fix it, but he knew. Like, he believed in himself, and he knew that he could fix it.
That's right.
So I thought that was pretty touching, actually, that
Yep.
that she was worried for him, and he was able to do it. Like, and
Yep.
then she cheered for him in the race and stuff. That kind of reminded me of how high school series often have like a sports day
Yep.
where
Yep.
there'll be like a relay race or something. That reminded me of that, like her cheering for him as he was racing the sled.
Yeah. It's the little.
Yeah. So I thought that was a fun little diversion from, I guess, the main story, which at this point is going to be like Clara visiting soon.
Yep. Yeah. At the same time, we have, we have Hedy, like reading the books of songs for grandma.
Right.
Like, news.
Reading. Wait, what?
Yeah, it's just like, I'm kind of surprised that she can read that so well.
Oh
Because-
yeah, that was difficult language.
Yeah, that's right. It's apparently like the ancient text that's you were reading. So
It was what?
the ancient. So this was like
Oh,
the
ancient
old text.
text.
Yeah, that's you were reading. So it actually really difficult, but yeah, she actually did it very well.
Yeah, it was like a traditional German
Song is it?
prayer,
Poem.
I think.
Oh, all right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I have no doubt that there are like a lot of psalms and like songs of worship
Yep.
in Christianity specifically are actually like prayers that are set to music.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So I'm sure the book has some of both. Yeah, but it's true that it's pretty surprising that she can read that stuff. Because Peter, he wouldn't be able to read from that book, I don't think.
He will in the future.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if he's really cut out for that.
Yeah.
His family, like it, whether or not a child can read very well has a lot to do with how much value their family places on reading. Like if their parents read to them in order to
Yep.
prepare them, like get them ready to read and to receive that information as a small child, and no one else in his family can read. That's a major disadvantage in
Yeah,
terms of literacy.
yeah, but that thing that make Hedy plan later on work so well because she was writing a letter to grandma,
Second.
and yeah, that's right. She was writing a letter to grandma and let Peter read it to her.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, so
And he does read it.
yes, so that's why Peter have to learn to read well in order to read it to grandma, and I think that's a really good good thinking that Hedy have right there.
Professor Heidi.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, if Peter's going to
Encourage.
learn to read, I'm sure that, yeah, yeah. That her encouragement will be necessary, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Or just read a lot of books around him until he gets jealous of books.
Yeah, so that he have to learn to read in order to
Or
stay
maybe
with
when
her.
maybe when they get older, Heidi can write him like love letters.
Right.
You know, when they're both like, when he's, I don't know, I can't remember how far apart they're. Like, isn't it kind of like 5 years or something?
From their age.
Between their ages, yeah, something like that.
Oh yeah. Nah. I don't know very well.
Wasn't she 5 when she came to the Alps and he was like 10?
Yeah, I'm not sure if he was 10. Yes, he was 5. I just remember that when she get to Clara house, Clara was 12 and she was 7 or 8. So
Yeah.
I would say that Peter and Clara is about the same age.
Okay. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Wait a minute. What if Peter falls in love with her when she
Nah,
arrives at the
not-
Alps?
Not gonna happen. They're gonna be like they all love Hades. Don't forget about Hades.
Yeah, well, of course not. But Clara, she's got the blonde hair, and she's got the little voice like this.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. Blah 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 blah. Maybe Peter will be like, "Wow, a real city girl."
Yep.
Or maybe all the boys at the schoolhouse, now that like all the schoolhouse kids are kind of minor characters, maybe when Clara arrives, they'll all fall in love with her. But Peter will, he'll stay loyal.
Yeah. All right. Before that we have like an episode of Peter like nearly missed the first day of Hades school.
Yeah,
Because
I was kind of meh on that storyline.
on the lady.
Well, yeah, the lady who tells him go chase the fat man.
Yep. Yep.
Like it was such an artificial way of, is he gonna make it? Like they're just like,
yeah.
oh, go on this errand. Will he make it back in time?
Yeah. Well, I kind of like the way that like even when he met the guys, he give back the package. He's still like be lured by food.
Right.
So even though that he wanted to go back to the class to see Hedy, because he promised to Hedy and because he afraid of the 100 of the curse basically.
The Hadi Senbon.
Yeah.
I've
What
heard
was
that in a bunch of anime series, actually. I think that's like a traditional. I don't know if traditional is the right word. Like that's something that Japanese kids will tell each other.
Yeah.
Like
But
if you lie, you have to swallow 100 needles.
yeah,
or
100
1,000,
needles. Yeah,
whatever.
that's right. So he was afraid of that, but he's still like going along to eat because he was a glutton.
Well, he said multiple times to the guy, "I really should be getting back," and he was like,
still
"Nah, you can go to school any day. You can't eat a great meal like this except for today."
That's right. So that
And then
actually pretty
he had to
playful.
sprint back to school on a full stomach,
Yep, yep,
feeling like
yep,
he's gonna pass out. Poor kid.
yep. Poor kid. So
I
yeah,
thought
that
that I thought that episode was kind of like meh,
yeah,
to be
alright.
honest. It was probably my least favorite out of the 5.
I say alright. I still think that it's playful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. Now we get into the last episode, which is about Clara wanted to go to the Alps,
Yeah.
and it's just funny that Clara father and doctor. Actually, Clara father, he forced the doctor to go to the Alps.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
not
I thought it
really
was actually
nice of
pretty.
it.
It was pretty brilliant of him the way he strong
Really?
armed the doctor. Yeah, it was like. He presented it as though it was like a spur of the moment idea that he'd had, and he's like, "Oh, this is perfect. This is brilliant. You don't know
Yeah,
where you want to go on your trip. Why don't you go over here?" But you have to imagine that he was like calculating in his head,
yeah.
like the best possible deal that he could get for his daughter.
Well, and the way that he actually don't give the doctor any choice because like even if he doesn't wait for him to accept, he actually lead him into Clara and tell her about the plan.
Yes, he
So
pulls him by the arm.
yeah, so when Clara said like, "Will you go to the house, doctor? Will you do that for me?"
Yeah, with her little voice.
Yeah, doctor had to say yes.
You're right. Yeah, but I mean, in that situation, I don't know. It might be Sesaman who has more power, because he supplies the money.
Right.
Like this doctor. Maybe they're friends. We've seen them like sharing whiskey together and stuff, and
Yep.
playing cards, something like that.
Yep.
But it's Sesaman who pays the guy's salary.
Right.
And money is there's a lot to be said for who has the money in a
Yep.
given relationship.
Hmm.
But yeah, looks like the doctor's going to the Swiss Alps to check out the scene.
Which I think is a pretty good idea.
Yeah. I mean, I feel bad for the guy's vacation getting sucked up. Like it's now a working vacation.
Yep. 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 Yep.
But
No,
it's for Clara.
all right, all right. That's his fault to begin with because he having a vacation, but he doesn't know where to go. So that's his fault.
That's his fault.
To begin with. If he have like the destination in his mind, that's never gonna be a problem.
You might be right, but I don't know. Sesaman might say, "Here, I'll give you like a bonus if you go to
Right.
the Alps."
All right. So
You know.
now he doesn't have the bonus, but he still have to go to the Alps.
Right. Yes, that's his fault. It's his fault that he missed out on an extra payday.
Yeah. Alright.
I thought it was Clara went on hunger strike.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was pretty out of character for her. Like usually she just takes whatever Rottenmeier gives her,
Yep.
whatever instructions she
Yep.
has but I'm sure she was waiting, because her dad said in spring you can go.
Yep.
So I'm sure she was biding her time and following orders and being patient until spring. And then it gets to be spring and she's like, "Well, I'm not eating anymore until I get to do this."
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good plan because I don't think that she will go all the way with the plan of hunger strike.
No.
But it is enough to make what's her name worries.
Rottenmeier.
Rodemeyer. So
Yeah,
it's work.
Rottenmeier's worried for her own skin.
Yep.
Oh no, what am I going to tell the master of the house if his daughter doesn't eat?
Yeah.
Terrible woman.
Clara, yes.
What?
Terrible woman's hunger strike.
No.
Just
Yeah,
to
I mean,
get
she
what you
did the
want.
only thing that she could think of. That was probably her only leverage in that situation.
Yep.
Like, the only thing she could do.
Yeah.
And I mean, she was obviously starving because as soon as Rottenmeier says she'll write the letter,
Yeah.
she immediately wheels herself out of the room into the dining room and yells for Sebastian to bring her dinner. So she was like torturing herself.
Yeah.
You know, she was very hungry and she was like trying to find a way to, you know, to get herself to the place she wants to go by
Yeah.
any means necessary. It could be seen as brave if you view it through a certain lens.
Right. Oh, and actually, one thing that I want to mention is Grandpa, Heady Grandpa. He's start to making friends with the people in the village.
Well, you know, it was like one step forward and two steps back there.
Yeah, 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 true.
Because he does go get the suitcase and he trades the cheese for the bread with the people who tried to rip him off
Yep.
before. But then, you know, he has the breakdown in negotiations with the guy whose house he wanted to rent for the winter.
Yep.
After he can't sell the goat.
Yep.
But yeah, I did note that in episode 36. I was like, well, it's the beginning of Grandpa's redemption arc. Here we go. So we'll probably see him, you know, get closer to the... Maybe we'll go all the way back around to winter.
Yeah.
You know, before the series is over, and they'll move back into the village again. Or maybe Clara visiting them will mean that they have to stay down in the village because she can't be up in the mountains. That's the more likely
right. That's
scenario,
true.
I think.
That's true.
So then they'll be in the village like year round, or for however long she's visiting, and you know, Heidi will have more chances to, you know, make more friends and go to school more conveniently, and Grandpa will be living down there with everybody.
Yep. That's true. All right.
Yep.
All right. Do you have anything else you want to say unhealthy?
Let's see. Oh, yeah, I guess so. I mean, my favorite moment from any of these episodes was when Heidi, you know, when Grandpa says we're going to sell the goat, and Heidi says, no, please don't sell the goat. And he says, no, we're going to sell it.
Yep.
And this is before he comes back home after he's seen the abandoned church or house.
Yep.
So she is back at the house and she's thinking, oh, we're going to have to sell the goat.
Yep.
And so she's tearfully telling the goat, don't be sad. It's okay. We're going to sell you to someone in the village, so I'll be able to see you all the time.
Yeah, that's right.
Like she's working out her own feelings by talking to the goat and trying to comfort the goat.
That's right.
When I saw that, I was like, oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, I think that's right there is make Grandpa change his mind.
Yeah,
I think
seeing that she's talking to the goat.
Yeah, I think he probably thought the same thing. You know, like, oh my god, that's so sweet. That's so sad of her.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do something.
I gotta fix up this house at the cost of my own, you know, my own sanity.
Well, he doesn't have to pay for that. So, you know, because the renting is, it could work for this year. Next year though, he have to earn some income in order to rent for another year. So this is works, I think, way better than, you know, renting someone else's house.
Well, I mean, hopefully no vagrants move in or anything during the 9 months out of the year when they're up on the mountains.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad thing as well. You know,
what?
If you don't use a house, you know, well, why not sharing that to the one who need?
I don't know if he's the sharing type at this point.
Yeah. That's true.
But I mean, it's certainly a big house. But a lot of it is still in ruins. I don't know. He probably only renovated enough for he and his granddaughter.
That's right. I do remember that it had no roof.
Right. The roof is the floor of the top level.
Yep. You know what? That's right there remind me of?
What?
Another show. Ronia. the robot
Oh.
doctor.
Oh yeah, you're right. It is kind of the same.
Yeah,
The little roof where she like jumps across.
yeah, that's right, that's right.
Yeah, that's right.
So
Ronya is
that's
just like Heidi 2.0 kind of.
yeah, that's actually true.
Yeah, it's all about a girl like in her relationship to nature.
Yeah, with how yeah, Heidi don't have the daddy issues
Um,
as Ronya does.
what do you mean Heidi doesn't have daddy issues? Her father's absent.
All right. I mean
I'm
like
sure she will when she grows up.
Ronya. At one point, Ronya were estranged by her father. That actually serious issues.
Did that happen? Did her father like banish her because she was
So,
friendly with
he
the enemy?
all right. He didn't banish her. He just said something along the line of, "I have no daughter. She's no
Oh,
longer my daughter anymore." So that's why she left. She left the house and come
right.
to live with the boy.
Right, from the other tribe of
Yeah,
bandits or
yeah,
whatever, the other group.
yeah. That's right.
Yeah, but she would still sneak over to the other side to get food, like to get rice and stuff, right?
At that point, I think they live in like one of the cave, like
Oh
outside.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
and then like few months later, the mother come to supply them food. That was before the winter though, because they was afraid if they can survive during the winter. So she asked her to come back for the winter.
But she didn't, did she?
She doesn't want to, but all right. That this is the whole spoiler now. She doesn't want to, but yeah, the boy he wanted her to go back. So she met her father by chance before winter, and they make up.
Ah,
So she go back.
okay. Yeah, I guess that did happen, huh?
Yeah.
I've forgotten a lot
Well,
of details about the
yeah, but
series.
yeah. Ronia is having the same vibe of Hades for sure. I enjoy part of the show.
Yeah. I think Heidi's probably better.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
it's more emotional, like, feels like the stakes are higher, at least
All
to
right.
me. It
Yeah.
certainly doesn't have the same like intrigue kind of that
Yep.
Ronya does, but the characters feel a lot more real to me. I mean,
All
more
right.
time and care is put into like fleshing each of them out and like really getting into the setting
Yep.
where they live. Like there are big chunks of Heidi episodes where it's just her going outside and running around and stuff, and like there'll be some minor subplot that holds the episode together.
And even like the psychology of the young child, I think this show get it right.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
All right. You want to wrap up this week podcast?
Sure, let's wrap it up. So we have 12 episodes of Heidi left. So I think what we're gonna do is bump up to 6 episodes a week for the next 2 weeks.
All right, 6-6. All right.
Yeah, and then we'll continue with our seasonal coverage. We're also gonna keep doing Kyoso Giga, 1 or 2 episodes a week, depending on what we have time for.
Yep.
Uh,
Which
I've got something going on a couple weeks in early October, so we might have a week off in there somewhere.
right.
But we are aware of the impending fall season, so we'll be picking which shows we want to watch, and we'll do a preview eventually,
All right.
early next month.
So good to me.
Yeah, but we've got Vinland Saga's probably going to be back next week and everything, so we'll be back with our regularly scheduled programming coming soon.
All right. We'll see you next week.
Bye bye.
See ya.